Good morning, praise be God and Mother. We're talking real. Hi, John. Hey, Lena, what's up? You know what's up, Annabelle. This is a picture of some, or it could be. Is it? I don't know. Looks like a cartoon of the doll Annabelle, and they have the tarot card, the devil next to it. And it says warning, positively do not open. This doll has been on display. Apparently she's been the subject of a movie called The Conjuring, which I remember now, me and Chris watched it quite a few years ago, and it was the stupidest horror movie, like one of the stupidest horror, and everybody was terrified by this movie, and we just thought it was like so stupid. But they really tried their best to freak you out in this movie. Now, this guy Dan Rivera is a paranormal investigator, quote unquote. Those people just kind of really drive me nuts. But he died while he was on tour trotting this doll around, right? So we're addressing that this morning because it's all over the news and people are going wackadoodle poodle. And so I said, let's just talk about it right now and just weigh in because the topic is hot. Yeah. So I don't know what Annabelle. Well, her history. It doesn't matter. She's all over the internet. This doll again inspired a movie. It just looks like a regular kind of Raggedy Ann doll. I had one as a kid. Hang on. So, at any rate, this guy Dan Rivera he was only 54 years old, and he had no known health problems or anything like that. But John is telling me now it was a case of sudden heart failure. He died they found his body in the hotel room with no signs of foul play, nothing, and investigation is still being done on the body. But he was in the middle of being on this tour with this doll, and so John said, I said, is there anything to that, John? Is there, what do you say on it? And he said, well, there's something to everything, right? There's something to everything. But I have stressed to you from a while back, paranormal investigators, would be wise to find a new profession. All right. And because this guy, part of his, I'm not saying shtick, but I thought of the word, was being a paranormal investigator and holding these tours and showing off these demonically possessed artifacts supposedly, and but always stressing that he was a God-fearing man and that he was a religious guy. And I'm not saying he wasn't or isn't, and actually he's coming in right now, just kind of nodding and listening. He's not saying much. um Natural causes. Well, he is saying something to me right now. His time, and but people will perceive it however they want to, and they'll want to give the doll the power over this matter. And these things have as much power as you give them. And he's saying, and John's got his hand on the guy's shoulder. Dan Rivera, right? He's saying that it was his time, and it's clear to him that now that he's on the other side, that that he is where he is meant to be, but he is in God's and with God and with all of the brethren. Um, but that paranormal activity, the demonic stuff, that really that's what a lot of people get excited to find out about. Let's face it. And like anything else, thoughts are things, and the more power you give to anything dark, there are dark entities. They will find their way in. And the more you investigate, the more they will target you. And perhaps, but okay, so what do we now? I'm getting like a heavy feeling about around my shoulders, and we would not advise paranormal investigation. as a career or as a worldly endeavor. The work is down here. The human race needs to look at itself and invest all that time, that valuable time, toward other pursuits that involve helping humanity. Right, okay, that is the message, right? Paranormal investigation. If you go digging, and especially in this case, may I, John? Yes, you're on the right track. Absolutely. I'll stop you if you're wrong. All right. Especially if you're trotting around demonically possessed, so-called demonically possessed artifacts. You're giving these things and thoughts and things power. You're titillating people by making them scared. They love going to scary movies. Ooh, and now it's like they're on this thing, and they're actually on this tour, and they're gonna see the doll that wreaked havoc in so many lives, and you're perpetuating just dark, negative, slushy, icky energy. You're not going to the light. And yeah, this guy Dan Rivera was a God-loving, God-fearing man, but he chose to do that for a living. A sense of fascination, perhaps, yes. And he absolutely took it seriously. But it was his time to go. But now all these people are going to give the credit for that to the doll. And I don't know, it just say no, I think, yeah. I'll admit I was fascinated as a child with this kind of stuff. The Exorcist came out, everybody was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" But you know what? I had a healthy respect for it, and I sure never went went in for Ouija boards or any of that shit. My thing was animals and nature and music and life. I choose life. And it may be ironic that my one true one is perceived as dead. But he's not. He's alive. And so is Dan Rivera. And the veil is very thin now. And you can find the ones you love on your own steam. You don't need to play with dolls to find what you need. Amen.